This is Goku7DBZ, and welcome back for a new and part 2 of Top 50 Comic Book Films or Superhero Films of all time. Keep in mind, these are my own personal opinions and my own personal picks. With that said, just a quick little recap. Number 50, Lego Batman. 49, Blade Trinity. 48, The Spirit. 47, Iron Man 2. 46, Superman Returns. 45, Thor: The Dark World. 44, The Wolverine. 43, Batman Forever. 42, V for Vendetta. 41, Punisher. 40, Blade 2. 39, Spawn. 38, X-Men Apocalypse. 37, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. 36, Unbreakable. 35, Sin City. 34, Batman. 33, Iron Man 3. 32, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 31, Doctor Strange. 30, Batman the Killing Joke. 29, Suicide Squad. 28, Captain America the Winter Soldier. 27, Wonder Woman. And 26, The Dark Knight. Now, obviously, I triggered a few fanboys, given how many dislikes, and all of a sudden more dislikes on other videos. So with that said, sorry your feelings were hurt, and if you got nothing better to do than dislike my videos, you're nothing but obviously a loser. So how about you go troll someone else? Shoo shoo, fly, don't bother me. With that said, here, starting at number 25, this film was released in 2004, rated PG-13, and that is, of course, based on work from the Dark Horse comics. Hellboy comes in number 25. Coming in at number 24, rated PG-13, this film was released in 2012. It is Marvel's The Avengers. It's not nearly as high on my list as other people's, but still has a reasonable rank, but I feel that it's a little bit overrated of MCU movies thus far. Coming in at number 23, was released in 2000. It is the movie that would start the entire franchise of this series, and that is the franchise The X-Men with 20th Century Fox. Coming in number 23 is the original X-Men film, of course directed by Bryan Singer. Coming in at number 22, this was released in 1980, rated PG. I know it's not as high as other people's, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it, obviously. And that is Superman 2, but specifically the Richard Donner cut is my personal favorite version of Superman 2, which I still regard as my favorite Superman film. Coming in at number 21, released in 2003, rated PG-13. This would be the sequel, and would of course be very anticipated, done by Bryan Singer himself. And number 21, that is X2, X-Men United. Coming at number 20, released in 2008, rated PG-13. This would be the sequel, and I feel in some ways is superior, at least from the artistic standpoint of the art, the costumes, makeup, and overall storytelling, and the visuals are amazing. Coming at number 20 is Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Coming in at number 19, released in 2014, rated PG-13. It is, I actually prefer this version, or rather the sequel, over the original. And that is, at 19, Avengers Age of Ultron. May not be a popular opinion that I actually like Age of Ultron more than the original, but That's just my cup of tea. I prefer the character Ultron versus Loki, which I feel is kind of overrated. Coming in at number 18, also part of the MCU, it's actually a deadlock tie at number 18. Both PG-13. First one was released in 2011, the other one was released in 2015. 18 is a tie between the original Thor and Ant-Man. Both thoroughly enjoyed. Ant-Man, I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed the film overall. Coming in number 17, Rated R, released in 1994. And also, I might add, was one of the darkest movies to this day. And it was unfortunate what happened on set, the death of the main star of the film. Which is why no sequels obviously could match up to the original. And it is really good. Coming in number 17 is The Crow, which is very underrated and is a true definition of a cult classic film in my personal opinion. And keep in mind also, this list are only films that actually got a theatrical release. Doesn't matter if it was selected theaters and only a limited time release, it still counts. So, only theatrical movies. So don't expect a straight to Blu-ray or something on here. Coming in at number 16. This was the third installment in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. Coming in at number 16, rated PG-13, released in 2012, The Dark Knight Rises. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I loved Bane. It still gets me the voice because it kind of reminds me of a robotic Sean Connery, in my personal opinion. Coming in at number 15, released in 2004. This would be a sequel of course, the Sam Raimi trilogy. Coming in at number 15 is Spider-Man 2, which I very much enjoyed. I still kind of like the first Spider-Man over Spider-Man 2. I know a lot of people regard Spider-Man 2 much higher, for some odd reason. With that said, coming in at number 14, released in 2017, rated PG-13, co-done by Sony and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Coming in at number 14 is Spider-Man Homecoming, starring, of course, Tom Holland, which is a really good, honestly, he's a good balance of both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, Tobey Maguire, I felt overall was made the best Peter Parker, and Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man. But Tom Holland's a good balance of both. So I give points, plus at least he does kind of look like a high school student. Coming in at number 13, this was an animated film released only in selected theaters when it was released back in 1993, rated PG. It is, coming in at number 13, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Easily coming in at number 13. I freaking love this film. To me, Mask of the Phantasm is a perfect, to me, Batman film. And interestingly, it was darker than another film that came out the same year, Batman Forever, which was much more cheesy. I like the tone, and I love at least Danny Elfman was involved in the music, of course, in Mask of the Phantasm. I like the character Mask of the Phantasm, and of course, in my opinion, the greatest Joker ever is the Mark Hamill Joker, which is kind of one of the reasons why it's so high up on my list. Even the great Siskel and Ebert both gave this film 2 thumbs up, though they didn't see it when it first released. So, I think that says the quality of the film, if both Siskel and Ebert both agree. And in my opinion, the 2 greatest movie critics ever. Especially Roger Ebert. Coming in at number 12, Rated R, released in 2016. It has so many freaking one-liners and so many wisecracks and sarcasm and just plain funny, to be honest, and some pretty cool tracks from the 90s. Coming in at number 12 is, of course, starring Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. Comes in number 12. Coming in at number 11, Rated R, released in 1998 from New Line Cinema, and was the start of the first of a trilogy from New Line Cinema. Coming in number 11 is the original Blade. Why is Blade so high up on my list? One, because Wesley Snipes kicks ass as the character Blade. He really defined the role. He's one of those few actors I felt that really fit perfectly that role, sort of like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine or Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, and so on. I feel he should be at that same level of defining that role, as well as I love the villain Frost. Coming in at number 10. Welcome to the top 10 now. Rated PG-13, released in 2014. It was the first in what was going to be a new, originally trilogy, though it only got 2 films, by a director, interestingly, his last name being Webb. Coming in at number 10 is the original The Amazing Spider-Man, of course, starring Andrew Garfield. Coming in at number 9 is a film that actually did technically get a release in a couple of theaters. Most people don't know this, however, and it was only the PG-13 version that got released. The unrated version was only released in straight to DVD. But people didn't know this, that Selected Cities, LA and New York, actually got a very short-term release of this. Coming at number 9 is also an animated film I highly recommend, released in 2003. Rated PG-13, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Which, in my personal opinion, I like Batman Beyond universe more than Batman, at least when it comes to the comics. I like the Terry McGinnis Batman, and I like it's like basically Batman meets Iron Man, is the best way to put it. Also, the hardcore underground, like 90s techno, early 2000s techno, awesome touch also. And of course, the return of Mark Hamill. So, that's always good. Coming at number 8, rated PG-13, released in 2002. Coming at number 8 is the first of the Sam Raimi trilogy. Coming at number 8 is the first Spider-Man film, which was amazing, and I freaking love the Green Goblin. Awesome casting choice when it came to Green Goblin. They couldn't have chosen a better person. And come on, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. Literally made for that role, in my personal opinion anyways. Coming at number 7, released in 2014, rated PG-13 from 20th Century Fox. The second of a new trilogy from, well, Bryan Singer. Coming at number 7 is X-Men Days of Future Past, which is an incredibly well done, well executed film, and the casting overall was good, and Peter Dinklage was awesome. I loved him as Trask. And I like this, and to be fair, the bad side of this film was when we first started seeing a meld-in performance from Jennifer Lawrence as, of course, Raven Mystique. Coming in at number 6 is a film probably higher up on some people's list, rated PG-13, released in 2016. This is the third of a trilogy. Coming in at number 6, Captain America Civil War. Now, welcome to the top 5, the Elite 5. Released in 2008, rated PG-13. The first of a trilogy, and the beginning of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Coming in number 5 is the original Iron Man, which had an awesome, of course, post-credit scene, which is now infamous among comic book films, but not back then when it came out. Coming in at 4 is easily the newest film on this list. Rated R, released in 2017, it was my #1 favorite movie of last year. Coming in #4 is Logan, which was so amazing. I could not believe how much I thoroughly enjoyed this film. Now, with that said, coming in at #3, released in 2005, rated PG-13, this would be the start of a new trilogy of Batman films. This would be the beginning of what we know, of course, as the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. Coming in at #3 is, in my opinion, the greatest Batman film ever. And that is Batman Begins, comes in at #3. Getting the silver medal, coming in at #2, released in 2011, rated PG-13. This would be the first of a prequel trilogy of X-Men films. Coming at #2 is X-Men First Class, which I loved Kevin Bacon as the main villain. Coming in at #1, unrivaled, even now in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Rated PG-13, released in 2014. In my opinion, the greatest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, period. There is no doubt in my mind, there is no rival to #1 slot. That is Guardians of the Galaxy. And congratulations, Guardians of the Galaxy. With that said, I'm going to give quickly dishonorable mention, in my opinion, 5 of the worst comic book films that I have seen hands down. First of which, Superman 3. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. The third film, which, how should I put this? I dislike, well, other people like, but this is one of my 5 least favorite films, and that is Man of Steel. So yeah, 3 Superman movies I didn't like. That's not good. Don't expect Batman and Robin mention on these 5, because I like it, and it's so bad it's a good kind of way. The fourth film, however, is just going to be in general. All the Crow sequels. They're all bad, in my personal opinion. And yes, I know I said too many times now, personal opinion. Whatever. And the last comic book film, in my opinion, absolutely sucks. And if you haven't seen this film, count yourself lucky. It was released in the 90s, called The Phantom. Just be glad you never saw it. You did yourself a favor in not watching that crappy movie. I'll see you all next time for our upcoming top 10 list, which is top 10 PS1 games worth buying. And I'll see you then, as well as for comic book pickups and more Dragon Ball FighterZ gameplay.